Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And this is the Eight of Cups. I feel like we're kind of, I don't know if we're losing interest in something right now, or if we're feeling kind of a loss of a connection somewhere. Yeah. And maybe we're feeling like our glass is kind of half empty right now, yeah. So I feel like we're looking for something to kind of boost things up. We're looking for something to give us that lust and love and life and that zest and robustness and that vitality again. Yeah. I just kind of feel like it's not really a storm, but it's just kind of a dreary, kind of rainy day. You know? Let's see what else we've got. Let's put that into some context, all right? It's okay that this is our starting point, right? It's all right with us. Here's the, interesting. Here's the Hierophant card. Not what I was expecting. There's the High Priestess. 10 of Swords. Queen of Wands. The Tower card. Look at that. Now that is some vitality and some robustness, right, in our future. So I think we are getting out of this slump. But what is it that's getting us out of the slump? Well, I think it's a little bit of help from outside, a little bit of help from inside. This could even be, with the Hierophant, it could be this idea of you, you're choosing to go back and learn something new, like maybe even going back to school. I feel like you're learning a new skill, learning a new subject, you're immersing yourself in something else. Yeah. That we intuitively know that there's some other aspect of our lives, some other part of ourselves that needs to be expressed there. It's like this idea of finally deciding to kind of go back to school just to get some excitement, to feel like we're doing something, to feel that we are, we're back on this path of growth again, of change, of evolution. This is the Death card. Ooh, 10 of Cups. And yes, the Princess of Swords. That makes perfect sense in that position too. But we've got the Prince of Wands here. It's very interesting what I'm kind of feeling right away, because it's kind of as if sometimes we feel like we're too old to go back to school. We're too old to learn a new skill or to learn how to do something. Now, maybe it's not school. Maybe it's like learning how to paint, learning an instrument, or literally going back to school, getting a degree, specializing in something else, learning something, doing something new. Sometimes feels like it's a young person's game, right? And sometimes we feel like I'm not cut out for this. This is that kind, these are the doubts, these are the kind of the insecurities that we might have about going into this kind of a situation and having to apply ourselves, because we kind of have to be young again. We have to take on the youthful curiosity. We have to invoke that inner, I don't know, whatever, the inner student or something like that, right? In order to really get the most out of this. But it's going to create a lot of changes. It's going to make all the difference in the world for you. And it could be maybe you're going to take classes online. Maybe you're going to learn how to play piano in, 12 easy steps online on your phone, whatever. Maybe you're learning a new language. Maybe this is literally you going back to university, finish that degree. Yeah, or get another degree, or something that's taking you out of this kind of slump. Because maybe what this Eight of Cups is, more than anything else, we feel it's a loss of connection. We feel like it's a loss of just like love and interest and zest even in the world. But I feel like this is kind of a boredom, that we're kind of getting, we're ready for something else. We're ready to do something new, and we see a lot of fire here. There's some fire over here. We do have the water energy, but look how full our life becomes. See, look at this. Look at the Eight of Cups. It's kind of draining. It's a rainy day. It's just kind of blah. I don't feel. There's nothing that really sparks my interest, But here, this is full. This is richness. This is now the kind of life where we are learning about ourselves. We're doing new things. We're getting out there. We're exploring new hobbies, new creative endeavors, new relationships, new. Right? We could stop at that, just new. The 10 of Swords in this past position is us realizing that the reason we feel bored, stagnating, the reason we feel a little bit blah or down in the dumps or a little bit low or disconnected is because we're not fulfilling ourselves in the right way. Because we're limiting ourselves. We're keeping ourselves in this little cage where we got wings. We need to stretch our wings. We need to fly. We need to learn how to fly again. Yeah. Anyway, let's select the mystery card. This is one random card. It's going to be from the Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot Pack. And it's a random card. We're going to just set it down over here. We're going to put Mr. Ed, our tiny horse, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. I was going to say we weren't going to look at that horse until the very end. That too. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. Okay. If at any point during this tarot card reading you feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. We're going to do it together as a group exercise. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Let's take a quick look around the room here. We see a few major arcana energies, and that really is central focus, and we can really look at this in a very simple way. Tapping into your intuition, we learn what kind of institutions to approach to reach the kind of breakthrough we want. We say institutions, but it's any kind of a formal structure, a curriculum that you need to kind of approach in order to learn whatever this is, right? And it could be the language. It could be the curriculum literally in a school. It could be step-by-step kind of learning the technique of piano or any musical instrument. Any kind of a technical skills, kind of like learning the ins and outs of painting. It's something that does have an artistic side to it. So it's not just science, book learning kind of things. There's a trick to it. There's a feeling that's got to go into it, right? And really that feeling is it has to wake you up. It has to make you excited. It has to open your eyes, open your heart. It has to make you want to go to class every day, right? Can't just be the standard stuff that no one wants to do. I don't know. Math. I'm not good at math. But something that really you're interested in, something you want to do. Could be a hobby, a skill, could be a cooking class. It could be just watching cooking shows on TV and getting some ideas, planning out how you're going to do it, read a couple books, check online a little bit, and then do it. But it's through your own intuition that you realize what to apply yourself to, and that's the breakthrough that you need to get out of this slump. Yeah, to get out of this slump. You need something that's going to wake you up, that's going to arouse you, and have that 10 of Cups, something that's going to really make you feel something again, So we've got our major arcana cards. We do have our fire energies up here. Got our water energies over here. Oh, I forgot about the death card too. It's through this cycle of things, this kind of, and it is a cycle. It's through realizing that this Tower card is going to eventually come solidify into this again. We're going to lose that excitement. It's going to wear off, right? And we're going to feel back here in this kind of, this Eight of Cups thing again. And we've got to continue the cycle. Going around in this kind of circle is what furthers our spiritual evolution higher and higher and higher. It's not a circle, right? It's a spiral. So we need to include that Death card there. And then, like I said, we've got fire, we've got water, we've got air here. We don't have the earth energy, but this is the Hierophant. It's Taurus. It is earth energy. This is pretty close to the earth energy because this is really in the physical world externally what we have to apply ourselves to. It's almost like we have to kind of put ourselves under the authority of a master, an outside kind of authority, a teacher, someone teaching us something, right? Even if it's just like a web page kind of showing us how to play the piano, a YouTube video explaining, I don't know, stuff about cooking or something. We're putting ourselves in a teacher-student relationship with something or someone, right? It doesn't have to be a formal class kind of thing, but it's about that relationship, putting ourselves into student mode. Yeah. And then with the High Priestess, it's kind of the same thing. We're putting ourselves, our conscious mind, into student mode. But the teacher, rather than being something external, now the teacher is spirit. The teacher's, it's our own higher mind, our own intuition here. Okay? And this is the student. It's hard for us to put ourselves in student mode because we have these insecurities. We think I'm too old to learn anything. This is silly. I'm not going to be any good at this. I don't even know what a guitar looks like. I'm not going to be able to figure out how to play it. This is us getting over that. We feel silly, you know. We feel like it's just, I'm not going to figure it out, you know. What the shoelaces? Spirit's telling me to ask about the shoelaces. I have no idea what the shoelaces are about. It's something about tying your shoes, maybe? Was it as a kid, it took you a while to learn how or something like this? I don't know what the shoelace thing. Or you were always kind of running around without your shoelaces tied? I don't know what the shoelace connection is for you. Okay. But this card's about those insecurities. And it's in the position of what we've got to get over, the obstacle here. And once we get over those insecurities, then here we are in student mode. This over here is not so much student mode. This is, I already know, I've already been through school. I don't have to do it again mode. You know, this is kind of, I know everything already mode. There's nothing else I need to learn kind of thing, right? It's the Queen of Wands. It's feeling as if, it's a stubbornness, really, right? It's us not wanting to do it, just for whatever reason. Probably because of those kinds of insecurities. We don't want to do it. So this is, and I kind of feel this is already you saying, no, that's not the answer. You know, well, maybe it's not the answer. I feel like perhaps it will lead you to an answer. It is an answer. Who says there's only one answer to your question, right? Or to why the idea that we are in this slump, and I don't know what this is, but I do sense that there's a dissatisfaction in life right now. That there is just this kind of, it's just like almost, I don't know if it's a knot, or just like a kind of a sinking feeling. It just feels there's a heaviness in your abdomen. Yeah. And it just feels like, things could be better. And maybe everything on paper should be fine already. But when we look at the Ten of Swords, we see why it's not. We see why things, maybe it should be good on paper, but we're just not feeling it. This is just the skeleton of the happy life. There's no meat on these bones here. Right? This is just maybe theoretically, this is on paper, it looks good, but there's really no substance there. This is the theory that is really good, the plan that is really good. Again, on paper, it looks good, but there's really no meat there. There's nothing nourishing about any of this. And that's what we're trying to fix. Yeah. And I think through this process with that tower energy, we're experiencing the breakthrough. We're experiencing, first of all, the truth, the eye that's up here at the top. We're able to really see what's been missing from our lives. Now we can see this 10 of Swords and realize that this was either that gilded cage or this was just a life that was just, had no flesh on it. You know, had nothing to really sink our teeth into in life. And so this tower energy is that real breakthrough of understanding now. Really, it's the perception of what's been missing. And maybe in a very general way, what's been missing is your thirst for knowledge, for wisdom, for skills, for more. That curiosity. I hope that mystery card's the Fool card. Right? That insatiable curiosity. The insatiable even quest for truth. Yeah, for prophecy. For excitement, for mystery. You know, we go through our life feeling like it's the most mundane life we've ever lived. But if we change the way we think, part of that Princess of Swords, if we start looking at our life like maybe a sci-fi novel, we start looking at our life from a mystery novel perspective, right? Think about those things. What kind of novel would you like your life to be? Is it a romance? Science fiction, you know. Even in a romance novel, there can be a little science fiction. Even in science fiction, there's always a little bit of romance, right? Is it a mystery? Is it a thriller? Is it supernatural, right? Is it a Stephen King novel? And we start to think of our life in those terms. It adds a little bit of richness. We add a little bit of fantasy in our lives, you know. And maybe it's pretending a little bit. Maybe it's kind of silly. But I feel like it really is an exercise in imagination, and it will prove to you that all we really have is our imagination. If life seems kind of dull right now, we can change it. It doesn't mean that we have to do something extreme or extraordinary. We don't have to literally go climb Mount Everest. But we could think of our life from the perspective of an adventure novel, you know, and maybe even start writing your own novel of your own life in journal form. Yeah, maybe you're a writer already. Maybe you don't know it. Maybe some of this is learning how to do that, learning how to see our life in that imaginative way and writing it down. You want to be Indiana Jones? Well, maybe you got to study some archaeology. Maybe we really dive into the Egyptology stuff and it adds a level of magic and mystery and wonder to our lives that we really have found that we were missing. You know? Try it. Try it. But you got to follow your gut, follow your instinct, follow your intuition. This is the High Priestess. This is the feeling I think you've had that something is going on in life. Spirit is telling you something, that something is stirring. There's that queasiness, right, or that heaviness, or that pressure in your gut that's just saying something is growing, something's moving, something is happening now. Yeah. This is the card that shows us what Spirit is trying to tell us through our imagination. I think dreams are going to get very vivid for you when we activate this imagination. I think this is also like intentional, active imagination, looking at your life through the lens of that adventure novel or that romance or that science fiction novel or whatever. Political thriller, whatever you want to do, right? But it has to be something that really speaks to the core of your soul, you know? Something that really is, in a way, revelatory about who you are and what you want and what kind of life is going to have that richness and value for you. We're adding meat onto the bones of this life here. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the path of the serpent, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. And it helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Sincerely. The death card here in the general energy, I think you have had some near-death kind of experiences in your life. And I think we've had this conversation before, but I feel like you've kind of been to the other side and back, in a way. And I almost wonder if that has kind of now ruined us in a way, because now we have this thirst, we have this longing for something more, something deeper than just the appearances of life. You know? When I was a kid, I don't know how old I was, 5 or 10 or something, I was really in this phase of like wondering what death was like. You know, because I had the experience, you know, you close your eyes to go to sleep, suddenly you wake up, and it's like no time at all had passed. And so I started thinking, well, when things die, how is it any different? You know, how is there any kind of, there has to be continuity. You know, if I'm not in this vessel anymore looking out through these eyes, I will be looking out through a set of eyes at some point. Again, there will be continuity of consciousness. There's continuity of existence, right? And so to me, I started feeling like that is the greatest mystery and adventure of life. I can't wait to get there. You know, as a 10-year-old kid, it didn't really go over well, like with adults, you know. But it's always been a fascination, and not some kind of a morbid obsession with death or anything, but with this sense of awe and wonder and respect for life, because that is kind of the ultimate adventure, the ultimate kind of journey that we're all going to take eventually. And I think with this card being in your general energy, I wonder if you've kind of had that same experience, or if you have been to that other side, you've kind of been in that transitional state between life and death, or death and life. And it adds to this kind of, it's almost, it almost makes the rest of the world seem a little bit dull in comparison sometimes. Okay? And that's something that we have to deal with, and we have to move forward from, we have to find ways to add this kind of mystery and richness and excitement into the life we have. And I've had that experience as well. I was in the ICU for a month when I had my liver transplantation. It's been 13 years now, almost 14 years. And that was the most intense experience that I've ever had in my life. And we have to use that in a way to add respect, for one thing, respect for the life that we have, and to realize that it is our duty to find meaning, to add the meat onto the bones of our life, and to make this an existence that is meaningful and rich. All this to say, go back to school, learn a new skill, learn a new hobby. Right? Pick up that guitar, go buy the drums, whatever it is. Start painting, learn something new. Start looking at your life through the lens of that adventure novel or that thriller or whatever it is. Yeah. And here is the 10 of Swords, now fully clothed in beauty and joy and love and bliss. Yeah, and harmony and connection and intimacy. This is now this is the dream life. This is the life so full of meaning that you wouldn't change a thing. Yeah. And it's in the position of your environment here. And I think this really shows the promise of this cycle of kind of breakthrough and guidance and learning and evolution. And it's really, it's building up the life rather than tearing it down. I think that this is something that we realize that there are pieces missing. That this thing is missing all the ornate details that we need. Well, here it is over here. Through this process, we're realizing this and we're creating this. We got to get through this card, of course. That again is like, the insecurities, the reluctance, the difficulty that we may have kind of turning on student mode, activating, student mode. But then we've got the Prince of Wands. And this is the dedication and the commitment to this full awareness, this full activated, it's a spiritual experience. It's consciousness that is just blazing, wide open perception of the universe, It's having this kind of, it's a religious experience. It's having a life that is so full of magic, we can't even describe it. It's just like we are just burning, we're just on fire with spirit. Yeah, and this is really nice. Let's look at the mystery card, though. Yeah. Let's see what we've got with this one. Thinking maybe we need more earth energy. Maybe this is all good in theory, yeah, but we need some practical steps. We need to see a couple of things being tried out. We need some experimentation. Maybe we need a Princess of Pentacles. We need maybe a Princess of Wands even. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. Four of Cups. Eight of Cups, Four of Cups. There's a stubbornness in you. And sometimes we are feeling down in the dumps. We're feeling that kind of that Eight of Cups, that slump. Somebody comes along and says, here, this will cheer you up. And you say, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. So I understand this. This is saying nothing is going to add that richness to life that I really didn't desire and that I really need. Nothing's going to do it. I understand this feeling. I've been there. We have to be willing to say, fine, I'll taste it and see. We taste the food, we realize, this is the greatest thing I've ever tasted. And suddenly we're awake and we're alive and it changes us. But at first it feels like, I don't want it. Someone comes along and says, here, take this, it'll make you feel better. I don't want it. Oh, here, let me cheer you up. No, I don't want you to. I think Spirit is giving you a way to add some of this meat back onto these bones. And we've got to accept the gift we're being given. We've got to accept the opportunity. And we can make this life a value-filled life. A life that is rich and just aflame with Spirit. And joy and passion. Excitement. Let me know in the comments, what is your novel? What lens are you going to look at your life through? Is it mystery, thriller, sci-fi? Mine be sci-fi all the way. Historical fiction, political thriller, romance, all these things. And it could change. It doesn't have to be the same every moment either. We can experiment with what we really like. We can create our own novel that's a mix of historical fiction and thriller and politics, romance, and sci-fi. All these things wrapped into one. But we're going to do an extended reading now. If you want to stick around for that, click on the link up here in the corner. There's one down in the video description. New readings for Aries every Monday and Friday. I'm here every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Just come back, see me tomorrow. All right? Keep this conversation going. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.